Never let anybody see you sweat. So I was born in New York City, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. I realized that I was a much better talker than I was a listener. I don't know what to say, I just don't like what you're saying.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I ended up going to law school at Georgetown, and I was a prosecutor for Janet Reno. I loved it because it was so raw. Were you cheating on her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All rise.
Our show will be a mixture of education, I think you're misreading the law a little bit, and entertainment. My main goal is justice and the law. That's been my legacy, and the legacy I hope to continue into the future with the show.
Alicia Bowman claims her kitchen contractor took a hefty deposit, then barely worked before ghosting her. Julian Torres says the client changed her plans, and it took time to get new materials. The defendant is countersuing for $3,000.
Ms. Bowman, you are suing your, I think it's fair to say, former contractor, Mr. Torres, for $4,500 because according to you, he breached your contract to remodel your kitchen. Tell me what happens.
So I found Mr. Torres on like a neighborhood group for our community, and he's done work for them before in the kitchen, and that's what I was really looking for, to update our kitchen for my family, for my 2 sons.
And did you speak to anybody who he had done work for?
Yes, a few of the neighbors said that he was really quick and that he was pretty reasonable with the prices.
Okay.
So I reached out to him and just kind of introduced myself and kind of what I was looking for the update. I sent him a picture of my kitchen then, and then my inspo picture as well.
Okay.
And he said that he could definitely do that.
All right, and so the two of you agree on a price of?
Yeah, so it was $12,000, but he wanted a deposit of $4,500, which I did give, but I did not pay the full $12,000.
Okay, but you weren't supposed to anyway, right?
No, correct.
Yeah. All right, so then what happens?
So he comes in with 2 of his employees, and they give me an estimate because they're doing cabinets, backsplash, flooring, lighting, all of that. And they gave me the quote of the $12,000 and then the deposit. And he said that's pretty much it. So they took out the cabinets, they put up some framing for the new cabinets, and then I wanted to change the backsplash as well. So we kind of went back and forth with that. But after that, I had no communication.
Tell me about
them.
the back and forth on the backsplash.
With the cabinets, I would change my mind because it wasn't what I was thinking as my inspo.
Okay.
So I asked him if we could change it.
Wait, but what, change it in what stage of things? Did he put up any cabinets and then you say, no, wrong, or he hadn't put them up yet?
He put up 1
He
cabinet.
put up 1 and you said, wrong?
Correct, yes. And then part of the backsplash as well. So
Okay.
there's 1 section in my kitchen that has 1 cabinet and then the backsplash. And since it wasn't what I was looking for, I was asked if we could change it, and he said yes.
Okay.
So then he said that it was gonna take some time, which I was fine with, but after that, there was no communication. I didn't get any receipts, I didn't get any tracking numbers, I didn't get any communication from him that things are being ordered or anything like that. All he kept responding was, things are coming, materials are back ordered, and so on and so forth. And then to the point where he wasn't responding to me at all.
Right.
So.
Let me hear from you, Mr. Torres. What kind of changes did she make that you felt slowed you down, not attributable to you?
A wide variety of changes. Even starting up front, she was very indecisive. Throughout the process, she started changing her mind, like the cabinet color, she wanted it frosted. She wanted new doorknobs on the cabinets.
The knobs, I see the text where she says, you know, can you put these knobs instead of those knobs? The knobs are not a big deal. It's a hole, and you just put a different knob. I mean.
Right, but we initially ordered materials up front. So
Yeah.
we had to go back and order more materials. Plus, she wanted a cheap cost. So we had to go to a different third-party vendor to get it. And it was already back ordered to begin with, and then she wanted new.
Okay, so she changed the knobs. What else did she change?
She changed the knobs, she changed the finishing on the cabinets, she changed the style of the cabinets.
How did she change the style?
She wanted
Glass instead of completely solid?
Right, and a different color, because she wanted frosted instead of the gray that was initially agreed upon in her inspiration photo.
So did you go out and order her first stuff, and then what'd you do with that stuff?
I still have it.
Her original stuff.
Right. And,
so did you tell her the price is going to increase if you want different stuff because I now have to reorder, or were you going to paint those? Like what exactly is going on?
I was going to give her the receipts on all the material at the end.
And then so she would be paying more than the $12,000 because you had already ordered the original cabinets.
Right. So the materials that she did order, we were constantly keeping up to date with all the changes that she was making. So
there would be change orders at the end.
Correct.
Does your contract actually say that? I don't remember, but it stands to reason that a change order would cost more.
Yes.
Do you know if it's in the contract?
There's a lot of things that are in the contract and not in the contract, but from what I'm looking at...
It is, change orders. Any
Yes.
modification of the project or scope must be documented in a written change order signed by both parties. Did you do that? Did you get that in writing from her when she changed her mind on anything?
Everything that she changed her mind on is in the text messages.
Right.
he
So,
never
but you
responded.
didn't have signed by both parties, which is what your contract says. You need to protect yourself as a contractor, and each time somebody changes something, you need to give them a change order. That is the point of having that in your contract, is to make sure that they sign it.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
Does he have read on his, so you know he read it?
No, I can't
okay,
see that.
good.
I have all
Take
these
that off.
jobs going on in between.
No, I understand.
We're on back order. There's a supply shortage. I got a lot on my plate, Your Honor.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Alicia BOWMAN, who brought Julian Torres to court over an incomplete kitchen job.
Here's the problem. When you change the color of the cabinets, what type of delay do you think there's going to be? There's going to be a delay.
Well, in the text message, I asked if that was possible, and he never responded. So I didn't even know that he ordered the cabinets. I just asked.
I specifically told her that it would take time every time she tried to make a change, and it was specifically detailed in those text messages.
Well, no, it's not particularly detailed in the text messages. I know that you tell her that when she changes the knobs, that's doable in the future. However, could you please let me know about any alterations as soon as possible? There are things already in motion. I'm already spending money on materials, so any further changes could lead to wasting money or delays at the very least. Understood. Thank you for your flexibility. That's March 6th.
Right.
The demo had happened when? Early March?
The demo happened early March.
So she's without a kitchen.
She's not necessarily without a kitchen, but she does have a lot of missing things. There's been
Well,
some...
what does she have? She doesn't have. What are you cooking on during this time?
A hot plate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a kitchen. A hot plate, a microwave.
Yep, that's
Indispensable
pretty much it.
during this period of time. And I guess you had a
Takeout,
fridge
I guess.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we went with the materials in the initial agreement, things would have been right on time.
All right. So you're texting. I'm working on it. We'll text you back with updates. That's March 26th. On April 4th, she texts you, seriously, what's going on? You've barely done anything in a month.
She knows there's no materials there.
I don't know because I don't have any.
Right,
proof.
but you know you changed the cabinets. You changed the finish on the cabinets.
Correct, but it wasn't acknowledged. So I didn't know it was actually happening.
On April 14th, he tells you, Alicia, I'm sorry about the communication issues, because you do know you're not the best communicator, right, Mr. Torres?
Yes.
You're not the best communicator. Like it's not like you answer every text. Sometimes there's days and you're not answering. Does he have read on his, so you know he read it?
No, I can't see that.
Good.
I have all these jobs going on in between.
No, I understand.
We're on back order. There's a supply shortage. I got a lot on my plate, Your Honor.
Yeah, I understand. So just take a second every night and say, I will be back with you in 3 days. Say something rather than leaving people hanging, because the best way to get a complaint filed against you is to not communicate with your customer. So just communicate better. April 18th, any updates? April 21st, anything? No. April 29th, it's almost May. Still waiting on the supplies. And by May 5th, she tells you, I'm over this. You're clearly not the man for the job. I want my $4,500 back.
But I clearly said I'm still waiting on supplies. I'm going to get the job done.
Right, but, perhaps a better answer is the supplies, according to the supplier, the supplies will be here on X date. What was happening? Did you check up on the supplies to see when they'd be there?
I'm constantly checking, and if there's just a nationwide back order, I don't even know how to expedite that entire situation.
Okay, but do you tell her that? Yeah, you're gonna be without a kitchen for months, baby. No, so they don't know. Were other clients in the same position?
No, Your Honor, because they also weren't indecisive.
Okay. So when she tells you on May 5th, you're not the man for the job, I want my money back, what do you tell her? I'm sorry you feel that way. You can take this job to somewhere else, but I can't refund your money. And she says, what? Okay, but why would you think that if stuff was, show me proof that stuff was ordered. I need to make sure you're not just sitting there taking every job that comes in through the door and then backlogging and then making it her problem. Yeah, you ordered the stuff. He ordered the stuff.
Those were orders over time. So every time she asked for those replacements, I made the purchase, which took much longer than I anticipated.
Where are her supplies?
They're in storage, Your Honor.
In your storage?
Yes.
You did not return them?
Right, and I even...
And what supplies are we talking about? We're talking about the first round.
Just all of the changes that she had, they're all now in storage.
Including the color, the new color that she wanted.
Correct.
So what do you have? You have 2 sets of cabinets there?
Pretty much. Everything that she ordered, and then she went back on it, so she wanted the original version. Everything that she ordered.
Have you hired a new contractor?
I have, yes.
And you just went with other cabinets?
Yeah.
So you paid again for cabinets, even though you knew that this was pending? And
Well, I just didn't know. I didn't hear from him.
how
so
are you going to
it
know what I was
all-
going to rule? I mean, you know
That's
you filed a
true.
lawsuit. You're the guy who filed it.
Yeah, and
Right.
that would help with my new renovation. So.
Oh, yeah, I know money would help with your new renovation. The problem is I've got to decide whether he breached the contract or you breached the contract by pulling out when you should have expected the delays. According to him, you should expect the delays because you kept changing your mind about stuff. According to you, you changed your mind about stuff, but that shouldn't count against you or require further delay.
I'm fine with the waiting. It was just I didn't have any information. Like I didn't know he actually ordered the stuff. That was the first time I ever heard that he had a list
Right,
of
so
things
at that,
that he
I get
ordered.
it. So at that point, in the beginning of May, when he says, I have $1,800 worth of materials already bought, you can pay me for those and give them to your new contractor. You've given me a receipt that shows $4,500 spent, I think.
And I still need to cover the labor costs.
Coming up.
You cannot prove to me that you put in her new order of cabinets.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Well, there's no other time. You and I are not going on a date next week.
Closed captioning provided by You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Alicia Bowman, who brought Julian Torres to court over an incomplete kitchen job.
You have an original contract. You then see the cabinets in the light in your kitchen, you don't like it, and you want something different. You tell them, order brand new cabinets because I want new cabinets. You know that a change order is going to cost you more money, right?
Correct.
Right. And then when you first reach out to him, you give him, you send him by text a picture of your old kitchen. Do we have that?
Correct.
I do have photos here.
I do too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's 70s. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
okay. And then you decide, and you show him an inspiration photo. Can
Correct.
we put that up? Yeah. Now, these are not frosted. These are just solid gray, right?
Correct. Yes.
And this is the backsplash you wanted and that you originally ordered.
This is the initial agreement, backsplash, cabinet color, and cabinet doorknobs.
Are you like clueless right now that if you order brand new cabinets, you're going to be paying for 2 sets of cabinets? Or in your case, 3, because you went with a different contractor. Do you really think he's going to eat the original cabinets? Like, what did you think was going to happen? He's counterclaiming against you because he spent additional money on, by the way, I only got 1 invoice from you. Show me an invoice for the additional monies that you spent that are the basis of your $3,000 counterclaim.
I don't necessarily have those right now, Your Honor.
You don't have them. Not you don't necessarily have them. You do not have them. So as we stand here, you cannot prove to me that you put in her new order of cabinets.
Correct.
You can't show me an invoice.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Well, there's no other time. You and I are not going on a date next week. This is the trial. This is when you would have to show me.
Coming up.
And you say, okay, so you're fine with this at this point. You're not fine. You'd like him to be able to give birth to your new cabinets right now.
That's right.
You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Alicia BOWMAN, who brought Julian Torres to court over an incomplete kitchen job.
How do you come into court today without the invoice for whatever else you ordered? I mean, you don't think that the judge was going to ask you about that?
I thought the text messages are plenty because it's just in writing here. I told it like...
My apologies. We're facing some issues with the suppliers causing delays. Work will resume when we have all our materials. This is on March 23rd. You have to know he's talking about other materials that weren't in already. Then after that text, you've got to change. Oh, I was wondering if we could do the glass cabinet fronts, which you have a right to change. It's just that that ends up costing money.
Right.
Then she texts you on the 26th. You ignore her. She texts you on the 31st. You say, I'm working on it. I'll text you back with updates. She says, okay. On the 4th, she says, what's happening? You've barely done anything in a month. On the you don't answer her. On the 7th, she says, Julian, with an exclamation point. On the 14th, so now it's like 2 or 3 weeks that you're not responding to her, which is very bad form for a contractor. Alicia, I'm sorry about the communication issues, but you must understand this is not my only job at the moment. I haven't given up on you, but we are having supply chain issues in no small part because you keep changing your mind. It's all right to change your mind, but you need to be patient. I can't make these things happen overnight. I'm working with other clients while I wait on the materials I need to finish your kitchen. And you say, okay. So you're fine with this at this point. You're not fine. You'd like him to be able to give birth to your new cabinets right now.
That's right.
But you say, okay, you could have just said that, and she's right. I could speed things along, but it'll be much more expensive. She said, nah, let's stick to the 12 grand. And then a few days later, let's see, say, any updates? And a few days after that, anything? And he says no. And then that's it. That's when you say, he says, I'm still waiting for supplies on April 29th, and on May 5th, you say, I'm over you, give me back my money.
Judge Milian's verdict, when justice for the people returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian.
So construction is notable for its delays, but it's most notable when there are changes, because changes start the clock running all over again, and they cost people time and money. But we have a problem, and the problem is that I'm bound by contracts. I don't like how uncommunicative he is, but you know you changed it. That causes a delay, and that ends up being something that's a problem. And I'm looking at these texts, I'm looking at what he's been able to prove in terms of what he's out, and I feel like this is a problem for you and not for him. Now, I know there has to be something that I give you on your counterclaim against her, because I know you're out more than $4,500. How much is going to be up to me and not you, because you don't have the proof that I need in court. I'm going to order her to pay you an additional $1,000 for your trouble, and maybe you can both do better in your next contract.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff owes $1,000.
I personally just wish you didn't go with somebody else, but it's up to you.
I didn't have a kitchen for months.
It's fine.
And I have 2 kids, and
That's
I
your
do.
day in court.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.